Hey guys, and welcome to Not So Pro Adult. Today, I'll be talking about World of Warcraft Legion and World of Warcraft Dreanor. I have two very special guests with me today. If you guys would like to introduce yourself.
Hi there, I'm Evvee from Evvee Does Stuff, and I am Not So Pro Adult's better half.
And I'm Lunarus from Let's Play Lunarus, and I have no relation to Radlt whatsoever.
And thank God for that.
Oh, thanks. I love you too, buddy.
So, Evvee, what is World of Warcraft Dreanor?
World of Warcraft Dreanor refers to the expansion pack, the 5th expansion pack at that, for World of Warcraft, which is a massive multiplayer online game. It was announced at BlizzCon in 2013 and released November 2014, so it's been out for a little while now. And it just adds new story to the World of Warcraft universe. This particular story lets us go back in time. We've got a little bit of time travel, and we can come face to face with a lot of the legendary characters. You've got Grimoire, Hellscream, Blackhand, Nazul, which if you've seen the Warcraft movie, you will probably recognise at least a couple of those. So, although it's an alternate timeline, which got a bit confusing, it did give us a nice bit of different story to go into there. So that's what that is. Also known as WOD.
And don't forget Durotan.
Yeah, I don't like Durotan. We don't speak about him. Or anything to do with Thrall.
What about Draka?
I don't mind Draka.
There we go.
Tangent.
See,
Okay.
I have exactly no idea what you two are talking about because I played Draenor for about a week after release and was like, well, screw this.
Were you queuing the entire time?
It was queuing. It was stuck in bloody garrisons. It was I just didn't like it. I really didn't enjoy it.
My favourite Draenor story has to actually be during release week, which was I had to go to work. I booked a few days off. We queued. We got in for 10-15 minutes. I spent about 5 minutes of that falling through my garrison over and over again. And then I had to go to work. So I made Radlt sit in all day with both of our laptops on, making me jump so I wouldn't log out and so I could play when I got home from work that night.
I can tell you now, as much as I love WoW, trying to stay awake and making her jump was a nightmare.
I had to go to work and had to trust you the entire 8.5 hours I was gone. It was horrible. So speaking of queuing, did we want to go into some pros and cons for Draenor?
Sounds good to me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm fully up for it. I've got a long list of cons and no pros.
I can quite imagine you've got quite a long list of cons, but we'll start with the basics. Launch day.
Was a diabolical mess.
Yeah.
I remember at one point sitting in a queue of about 225,000 people wondering if I'd ever actually get into WoW. So it's suffice to say their launch day did not go smoothly.
At least you had a queue time though. When Diablo 3 launched, I sat up all night refreshing that damn button. It didn't give you any clue where you were waiting to get in. You just click that damn button. I mean, I know Diablo's about clicking, but it did get infuriating. But those numbers in those queues were massive.
The good old era 303.
Not only that,
Lost.
but I think that WoD actually, or Blizzard in general, got DDoSed on the day of release as well, didn't they? So
Yeah, there's rumours of that happening with Legion. So although, because we're in the UK, and we are an hour ahead, I believe, of round time. Is that right?
No, we're an hour behind them.
we're an hour behind.
So I've heard that we technically, although it launches Tuesday the 30th, we technically will get it Monday, the day before, at 11 PM.
Yes, but that's only because it's launching in France at 12 PM.
I know, it's fantastic.
But
I never thought I'd like the time zone so much.
It's the same time, my dear.
Yeah, I know, but for me, it's Monday instead of Tuesday, and that's all that matters.
We'll leave you with that.
I'll
thought.
probably be queuing all night. I'll probably fall asleep on the sofa with my laptop on, trying to overheat itself. But yes, I'm hoping maybe they'll learn a bit from the Draenor launch.
I really hope
it
so.
put a lot of people off. I mean, obviously like yourself.
Yeah.
I believe from launch day also they lost within the first 2 weeks over 3 million of their player base.
To be fair, 2 weeks is what it takes to do some of the content.
The thing is, I was so excited about Warlords of Draenor because my favourite expansion was the Burning Crusade, which is set in the same land or the same planet or whatever as Warlords of Draenor, and I was like, yeah, I get to go and explore Nagrand and Hellfire Peninsula all over again.
All the mushrooms.
And Zangarmarsh, I was like, wow, I wonder what Zangarmarsh used to be. And you know what?
That's some of the mushrooms. I'm so sorry.
They cut out an entire zone for their new stuff. It's like, but Zangarmarsh was one of my favourite areas.
Yeah, they did. I was expecting to see a lot of similarities between zones.
Yeah.
You think, oh yeah, this is definitely Zangarmarsh before it's happened. And to be honest, it all just looked the same to me. I don't remember anything popping out. Really, it just seemed like here's some grass, here's some mountains.
I think, to be fair, the closest one to its actual zone in Outland would have to be, I can't remember what the zone's called in Draenor, but it would be...
Shattered City.
What is the Needle Zone in BC?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bladespire.
That's it, Bladespire Mountains.
Needle Zone.
The only one that could remotely be referenced.
Well, I would argue that. I'd say that Nagrand followed suit quite nicely.
Because it's still grassy area.
Yeah, it was
remotely grassy area.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the only bit that I felt was anywhere similar to anything else. But
yeah, that's a good point. Actually.
But I mean, the other thing that really annoyed me about it, well, there was 3 major points that really annoyed me about Warlords of Draenor, and that was the fact that they had closed off certain areas. So, like, I couldn't get into Shatra City. I couldn't get into Hellfire Peninsula. I couldn't get into what is in TVC the Dark Temple. Or Black Temple, sorry. I couldn't get into any of those zones. And it's like, well, why would you lock off content? That makes no sense to me. And apparently they opened up a load of the content towards the end of that expansion.
It's bad that I can't even remember different particular zones. All I remember is Tinan Jungle.
Which was Hellfire Peninsula.
Oh, there we go. Oh god, there's nothing like Hellfire Peninsula, is it?
It is if you think about it and flick it the opposite direction.
Yeah, I guess.
It's round the wrong way, if you ask me.
Yeah, to me, although obviously it is Outland and Draenor are the same place, technically, obviously Outland's just the elementals have gone nutso and left or been weakened. I can't remember now.
I think what you mean is the fell energies have deprived the planet of all life.
And the elementals went bye-bye. Oh no, that's film lore. I have to apologise. After I just first saw the Warcraft film and then afterwards I read the prequel and then the novelization. So I have to admit some of my lore does get a little mixed up. I'm really sorry. But in the lore for the movie, it's the elementals just say fucking out. See you later. Thanks to the film magic.
See, I've not actually watched the movie, so I need to sit down and do that. Yeah, I need to sit down and do that.
We will have to do that.
It's not bad. I've expected a lot worse, but that's a whole different podcast for
Yeah,
another day.
yeah, we'll carry on that later. Sorry.
Definitely.
So, what's your next point, Lunarus?
The next one is a really simple one. I've already touched on this a bit. Garrisons. Seriously, fuck
Yes.
garrisons.
I think we've got a united front on that.
Radlt, I know you told me not to swear in this, and I'm very, very sorry, but I can't make this point enough. Fuck garrisons.
I completely agree.
Now,
seriously,
don't get me wrong, I completely agree with your opinion, but garrisons had so much potential to be so much more than what they were. They could have been your own little capital city. But
that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be, because I still have my Hearthstone is set in the Shrine of Seven Moons, the Pandera one, because it's got all my portals there, my transmog, my upgrades, my void storage, portals to everywhere I could possibly want to go, give or take.
This is what your garrison should have been.
Yeah, I don't want, and repairing, I know you put that there, but it's all really easy to get to, it's all really small. And I like the idea that my pets eventually ran around my garrison and there was some pet battling stuff, but it just felt like it was, I don't know, and the Horde ones were so ugly. I did not like the Horde ones.
I think my main problem with the garrisons was the fact that, well, World of Warcraft is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
And
the garrisons take away the multiplayer aspect of that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to touch on this very, very briefly before we even bring it up, but the garrisons, they actually took an aspect of the garrisons and have moved that into Legion as well in the class halls.
In the PTR, at the PTR there were hints of the missions
Yeah.
from Garrisons, but Blizzard said that certain aspects that you've seen in the PTR for the class halls can and will change. So I'm hoping that maybe it won't be exactly the same, because I couldn't. It's only been recently actually I had the brains to install the add-on that meant I didn't have to actually do anything with my Garrisons apart from click occasionally, because it's just so mind-numbing, and the naval missions made me want to shoot myself in the face.
Yeah, that was something that came out of the alpha about the garrison missions aspect being in, obviously, Legion, but
I suppose they've got the system up and running for that. They just want to use that and go with it from there.
they are, by the sounds of it, trying to make it more interesting than that, but they're not using the exact same system from what I've heard from their
It'll
blue
have a
posts.
different skin.
Apparently it's a little bit more different, but
Apparently you get to go out with your followers and not be a quest giver
And do
anymore.
quests, that'd be nice.
I mean that would be interesting. But as I say, we're digressing really.
We are, yes. Let's get back on track.
My
Karen.
third and final gripe with Warlords of Draenor. Oh. Well, actually, no. I thought of a fourth one now as well.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Get to
But
it.
the third one, flying.
Oh, God.
Yes, that's on my list. You're basically reading my list. I still do not have flying in Draenor because I refuse to rep grind for it. And I think you have to find the treasures as
You
well.
have to find all the at least 100 treasures in the Tanar'ri
And
jungle.
too many of them are jumping puzzles. And
Yes,
I
they
will
are.
rip my laptop off if I have to do another jumping puzzle. I have no flying. I'm proud of it as well.
Okay, and the fourth one, right? The storyline.
I can't remember half of it. I remember a character I liked dying, but I don't even remember who the character was.
It was a Draenor.
No, I'm sure there's an orc.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
out and say this, right? I'm sorry for anyone if this is a spoiler, but I know for a fact that the last raid in Warlords of Draenor, you kick the crap out of Gul'dan, right?
No, it's
No.
not true.
Lunarus.
Really?
Have you actually done it? No. You fight Archimond. I think is it an avatar of Archimond? I
No,
think
it's
quite
no,
keen.
it's Archimond.
Oh, okay. fair
Archimond,
enough.
as in
Yeah.
the final
The
boss
Archimond.
as in the final boss of Karazhan.
No.
Yes.
He's not the final boss of Karazhan.
Yes, he
Archimond
is.
the final boss of the one where you go back in
Hellfire
time.
Citadel.
Hillspread Foothills. Not Hillspread Foothills. The other one.
I am
Yeah,
going. I am going
You got
to.
all lore noobs.
I am. The Archimond, I'm
Prince-
sure is the.
No, it's Prince Mexico.
He's one of the
Oh,
Draenor
yeah.
one of the Draenor looking ones. You've got
Yeah.
Draenorus, who was a Titan,
Yep.
and you've got the two of the Prophet Valons.
Two of the
mates,
Draenor.
who were Draenor,
Right.
who don't
Which
like
was
Valen very
Kill
much.
Jaden and Archimond.
That was it, Gul'dan the Deceiver. Yeah, the last fight, you fight Archimond,
Yeah.
and Gul'dan is there.
Right.
It's been a while since I finished it. I try not to watch the
He-
cutscene at the end. 'Cause I
He
think
gets
Gul'dan...
pulled through a portal by the Burning Legion, and this is how Legion comes about. They put him to take him to the Tomb of Sargeras.
in
to
our
release-
reality, in our timeline.
Yeah, to
Right.
release.
'Cause
Right.
obviously, in our timeline, Gul'dan died. He was killed
Yeah.
by the Burning Legion years ago. Obviously, because Illidan has nommed on his skull, so he's very dead. But this Gul'dan is a different Gul'dan. He's the Gul'dan from the Draenor timeline, which is why one thing that doesn't remember about the story is the fact that now it's all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey sort of thing.
Can you see why I don't like the bloody storyline
Yeah,
for
I
Warlords of
completely
Draenor?
agree. Because when it came out, we said, "Oh, if this changes, then what's going to happen in the game with this, and what's going to happen with this, and so on and so forth." To the point where I was like, "I don't care anymore. Just tell me what I need to kill."
Well, this touched on one of my points. Are we going to see Durotan and Draka anymore? Because
I
are
doubt
they
it.
just a one-hit wonder because they're in Draenor?
Yeah, I think that's it. There'd be no reason for us to see them because obviously we're not. I don't even know how we get back to our reality. I don't remember that actually happening in the storyline. I don't know if it's just me.
No, we haven't yet.
No, or we must be.
It must be somehow, but yeah, I don't know
we're
how.
back somehow, but I don't really know how.
But then you've
Untied
also
storyline.
you've got the other parts as well of things like, okay, well we've got the Black Morass instance in the Caverns of Time where you go back and help Medivh open the Dark Portal,
Yeah.
but that hasn't happened now because of the alternative timeline. So why is that?
Exactly, it's confusing. It has
Exactly.
for our timeline.
But not for theirs.
You know, it's like, okay,
yeah.
well,
It's like an episode of Sliders.
and what about all the other implications for things like well,
Like Durotan
and nearly
and Draken
loads
not
of things
dying.
in the in the Wrath of the Lich King and stuff like that. It's like so much.
A lot of it's wrong, yeah, because Nozzle's dead.
So much of this has been
Nazul becomes
retconned.
the Lich King, and the Lich King obviously does massive things. But if Nazul is dead, then he doesn't become the Lich King. So then,
Which means Arthas can't be corrupted.
yeah,
Which then, in turn, means the Forsaken no longer exist, which then
Exactly.
means that Silvermoon City doesn't get half destroyed.
Sylvanas
Which
is
also
still...
means Sylvanas is still a blood elf.
Yeah.
No,
no,
yeah,
Sindora.
she's a Sindora, yeah, they're Sindora, they're not even
high
blood
elves.
elves.
Sorry, they're high elves.
Yeah.
They caught that event of that caused them to become a blood elf.
And if we've killed Archmon now, that means he can never destroy the world tree either.
Well, it doesn't matter. Again, you don't kill demons. They turn back to twisting. They go back to twisting nether.
Either way,
Yeah,
you know.
sorry. Yeah, it causes a lot of questions, but they've retconned it saying, oh, but that's not our timeline. That's now a separate timeline. We're going back to our normal timeline, but Gul'dan has been pushed through with us.
To quote a famous TV show, wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
I already said that. I'm way ahead of you. But yeah, I completely agree. It got to the point with the story where I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I think I think I've mentioned this to Radlt before, and I know you've not seen the Warcraft movie, so I'll try not to spoil it too much. But if they had brought the Warcraft movie out just before Warlords of Draenor, I would have cared so much more, because you see Durotan in that. Like I said before, you see Blackhand, you even see Grimosh. I don't think he's named in it, but you see Grimosh because he has Gorehowl.
Yeah, that's right.
And you see Gul'dan as well. And I know the lore is a little bit different, but people genuinely cared more about the orcs than they did the humans. And the Warlords of Draenor storyline would have been a perfect primer for that. It would have been fantastic. And I think that's what brought me back to WoW. Was I watched the Warcraft movie, and I was like, I need to go back and play WoW. And I was like, where am I? What was I doing? Which I always get after not playing WoW for a while anyway. But that would have helped, I think, so much more.
Right, final bit on story, because we've been talking about this for quite a while now. What was it? The story was okay if you look at it from a standalone point of view, but it didn't really have any excitement in it whatsoever.
Even Garrosh's death was terrible.
Yeah, Garrosh's death was absolutely dire, and Thrall just needs to stop being an emo. He's just gone from this great war chief into a little emo who needs to go cut his wrist.
Well,
unreal.
yeah, but that happened in Cataclysm, so you can't really pin that on Warlords.
I really loved the book before Warlords. They had War Crimes, which was about Garrosh's trial, and it was really good, maybe because it's written by Christy Golden. But it was absolutely fantastic, and I liked Garrosh after that a little bit. And I loved Pandera, so obviously the Garrosh storyline was like, oh my god, he's I hate him. But after reading War Crimes, I was like, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does in Warlords. I thought maybe he might even have a bit of redemption, going back, meeting his father, to redeem him and sort of, make the Horde great again. But actually, he didn't really get to do that much.
No.
Really, things still happen. And then he gets, Thrall? I think Thrall kills him, doesn't he?
He does.
And it was just it was in a cutscene. In a random, boring cutscene. And it was just I was in shock. I was thinking, did they just do that? They wasted a perfectly good raid fight, but we could have an epic battle, which we did, and then actually kill him, I guess?
I think the problem, the
Or
reason they
redeem
didn't
him.
put him in a raid is because
But he was in a raid, wasn't
we'd previously done it, and if they put in as their new first raid for the
Well, no, I
next
remember we could have killed him
expansion.
in that raid. If they were going to just kill him off, why not do it in the raid and have a big scene with him and Thrall fighting? If they were just going to have Thrall kill him off, yes, I know, then we couldn't have had Warlords, I guess.
No, they wanted to make money off another book too.
How cynical.
They definitely had my money. I love Christy Golden's books.
See,
But
told you.
and it did mean that we got more Chromie in the book, which was nice.
We love Chromie.
I love Chromie. But yeah, I can see both sides, but I would have liked a redemption story for him, I think.
I think killing him off was the right thing to do.
Yes,
Mainly
agreed.
because of the
I'm
amount
going
of
to give you the book.
the amount of hate that he got from every single member of the Warcraft community. They didn't have much choice. It was either a case of kill him off or face the wrath from the community.
On another side though, speaking about technically lore and story, there were a few good points come out of it. Khadgar his character progressed. You learned more about him, what he'd
That's
done
the
in his
legendary
time.
quest line. That's what I wanted to know actually, because obviously I love the legendary quest line. It took a long while.
Too long.
The procuring of the items I didn't like, but
Right.
the actual storyline, like seeing Verona come back and that sort of
And
thing.
be freed from her,
Like,
well, failed
corruption,
prison,
I guess.
technically, yeah.
I really enjoyed that. But what I was wondering is, obviously, the legendary quest line is meant to no longer exist.
No,
After
it's
Legion.
got another 2 days as a
Well, you know what I mean? After Legion launches, it's not meant to exist anymore.
No, it will not.
So we're going to lose all that lore.
Yep.
That for me was the bit I remember most from Warlords of Draenor, and that's all going to be gone. Which kind of annoys me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they do it every time, don't they? It's like, look at the legendary quest that was in Mrs. Pandaria.
Yeah, the cloak, I was so gutted I missed that cloak. And the talking with Rathian, because I thought Rathian was quite interesting. But I came to the party a bit late for that, I was too busy doing pet battles.
I was going to say, and the only other person who really got a good storyline out of it was probably Anduin
In what, sorry?
in WoD.
I
Warlords of Draenor.
was going to
do?
say, are we still talking about WoD right now? Because
Yeah, what did he do in Draenor? I don't remember even being there.
You didn't do any of the Alliance quest lines. He was alongside his dad all the time.
Was he?
Yeah, he was very much.
I haven't got that far from my
He
own
was
character.
he was fighting his dad all the way. He was trying to go to war, and he was trying to say, no, you can do it this way.
Again,
that
I remember
explains
him
why
in Warcraft.
Byron at the beginning of the Legion cinematic was like, you were right, peace is the right way.
Exactly. there
Yeah.
That
you go.
explains so much.
Again, in War Crimes, Anduin is the one who is basically stopping everyone from killing Garrosh.
Really?
He's basically, and he goes to see Garrosh in his cell, and although I think ultimately he might be the reason yeah, I won't go into that. But yeah, I didn't really see much of Anduin, which was quite sad because I did like Anduin's character. I was sad that he didn't really do much in this.
On a more important note, guys, we've been very cynical so far. Have we actually got any good points that we want to make about what we liked?
Yes, it was a very beautiful expansion.
Oh
it was
yes,
pretty.
it was just as pretty as Mists.
Well,
I have to admit, Mist is probably my favourite expansion. I'm very biased, so
She likes pandas.
I like the panda.
Kill her in the comments. Kill her in the comments.
I was going to say I'm very much of the other side. I remember when
Granite.
Pandering was a April Fool's joke.
Yeah, me too. I was a Warcraft 3 player. Good old Shen stormed out. They put him in purely because everyone wanted it so much. And when the pandas came out, I was like, yep, that's me. I'm a panda. But no, I mean, just the way it looked and the music. And although I did quite like the music for Draenor, for me it wasn't as epic. I mean, it might be, but I just didn't notice it as much because I didn't really care as much.
You didn't play it as much either, as much as you did Mists.
No, I played Mist to death. So that might be why. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
See, again with Mists, I played until max level, and then as soon as I got to max level, I just lost interest because it suddenly
That's what I
became
did with Draenor.
it suddenly became a huge rep grind. It's like, well, I don't
Yeah,
want to
it
be
did.
doing this again. I've done it 4 times already. Why do I need to do it again?
And this gets me on to another point.
Is it oh, I thought we were going to be positive.
I
about
can't help
Draenor.
it, I've just
You
thought of
missed-
another bad
See,
point.
this is one of my positives. Does that help?
No, I'm not getting onto that one.
Oh.
We'll do that in a minute.
You could have done.
End-game content was piss
Or
poor.
lack thereof.
The raids were basically tank and spake and don't stand and shit. There was no mechanics behind
To be
any
fair,
of
you
them.
did do a lot of raid finder.
But there was still no
stuff.
mechanics. Even in the actual ones, there was still no mechanics.
I actually cannot remember any Draenor dungeons I enjoyed. The main one I remember is Dawn of the Train because I hated it so much.
Well, I mean,
Oh.
I was on Reddit the other day, and I actually saw an infograph of endgame content for each of the World of Warcraft expansions, and it actually shows a very steady decline in content. I mean, if you take Wrath of the Lich King, I mean, there was...
4 raids.
Let's
something
think,
like
there
that.
was Nax, Old War...
And they were big old raids.
Oblivion, Sanctum, Ruby Sanctum,
I have Eternity, is that one?
Yeah, but I have Eternity.
Oculus as well. I mean, there was loads, whereas in Warlords of Draenor, apparently there's only like 2.
And no, there's 3 actually, believe it or not.
They're all
Okay.
crap, though.
And the other point is, you had the end raid, the last raid, where you fight Archimandon / Gul'dan, That was there for a year.
Really?
Yep, the last 2 expansions, both last raids,
And
have
no grass
lasted
was
a
there for a
year.
year because I refused to do it, and then had to do it at the last minute to get the airman bow.
So-
Get into that.
So let me make sure I've got this right. You had no additional content for an entire year.
No, they put additional content in, like flying and that, but as
And the
regards to
legendary
raiding,
quest line, that was newish.
and legendary quest line used to expand as it went on, but literally, the only raid you got for a year was Hellfire Citadel.
And it's not a good raid either. I can't stand it.
I'm sorry, but that is absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Oh, I won't go into that actually yet. Sorry, we'll talk about that with Legions because I'm hoping that's going to change.
That will be in part 2, guys.
Yeah, I'll remember that.
Okay, well, I'm pretty much out of what I wrote down as notes.
Good. I can
can't
come on
really
to
think of
something that I
anything.
know you don't agree with then, and something I did enjoy in Draenor, other than pet battling. I did enjoy the pet battles, the quest lines, the charms. You could then use it to buy different pets and different. I mean, I can now turn myself into a spectral version of my pet, and a tiny version, and a lit up version, and I can put hearts. Anyway, I love my pet. But ignoring that, and the fact that I
see my face,
the
guys.
fact that I can have them walk around my garrison as like my little fluffy babies is amazing. And Pepe, I love the little bird who sits in the tree outside your garrison. You jump up and click on him, and he lands on your head. I am going to ensure that even during Legion, I will be going there every day, and I'll be getting my Pepe.
The problem is that once you leave non-Draenor lands, he disappears.
Does he? I
Yes.
didn't notice that before.
No, I know, you don't pay attention that well.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to spend like half an hour in Draenor every day. I could be 10 hours daily with it.
Yep.
Which leads me smoothly on to my next point. Something I did really enjoy was, and something a lot of people do hate, are the assaults.
Boo!
When I was telling Radlt about this earlier, when we were discussing just things to discuss, one of the things to count was assaults, but for him it was something he didn't like, and it's something I did like.
It's just fill a bar. Why would you just want to fill a bar and get a reward? Where is the excitement in that?
I'm as shocked as you are. I absolutely hate dailies. My first daily I ever did regularly was the Tuskar daily in not boring.
Dragonblight.
Thank you. The Tuskar, and I have to collect lunchboxes. I did that every day for 4 months. That was the first and last daily I did until Draenor. But sometimes I just want to log in and I want to kill everything. I don't want to loot a gazillion wolves for 5 stupid pelts. I want to give you an area and say go and kill all the things. I want to run in, barrage, and multi-shot my way through that little bar that I've got to fill up. Maybe even pop a few cooldowns for the elites that are scattered about, and then pick up a bomb to blow up a siege engine. And sometimes I don't want to drag it so much, so I will bring along Radlt or someone else who needs some oil usually. But it's just strangely satisfying. If I just want to log on, I'll stick a film on or a TV show or YouTube show and just kill things. It's so satisfying. I can't believe you don't like it.
I will reiterate my sentence. Boo!
See,
That's just me.
I haven't done a daily quest since TBC dailies. Getting my good old badges of justice.
How did you avoid that in Pandera?
I didn't play much
He
of
didn't
Pandera.
play.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
I literally getting my hands on the good old badges of justice and then getting good gear for for running dungeons. I was happy with that. But I mean, as I say, I've not been. The last bit of endgame content that I've actually been anywhere close to impressed with was ICC.
God, ICC is a legend, and I think probably will remain that way for a long time to come.
Do you know what? We might have to end up calling this. We discuss everything about Warcraft.
Yeah, basically, we're putting the world of Warcraft to rights.
But no, as I
we've
say,
got
I
this
mean,
long enough.
I've not enjoyed a expansion since Wrath of the Lich King. Cataclysm was abysmal in my eyes.
God, yeah.
I don't think there's a single soul out there who liked Cataclysm. Again, great concept, utter
Oh
disappointment.
yeah, wonderful concept.
I was like, oh my god, when they're like, we're going to actually actively change the world. We're going to destroy continents. Things are going to actually change. You're going to stand Azeroth. I don't think I even completed half that content.
No.
I leveled and was like, done,
Yeah.
bored. I didn't go to the default.
There was one thing that's good that come out of...
If you say Fashy, I will slap you.
No, there's only one good thing that come out of Cataclysm, and that was looking for raid. People like me and Evvee who don't have time to go join a raid and wipe for 6 hours.
I made the raiding team and then got pregnant. I do not recommend that. It definitely cuts into your raiding time.
It really does.
So I have to scrub it out with the noobs like Radlt.
See, I used to be raid leader for TBC, and thanks to my swift hands, every now and then we would beat Black Temple or we would beat Tempest Keep, and it's like, yeah. And then looking for groups come around, it's like, okay, so people like me are no longer needed anymore.
You
No,
good in guilds.
Yeah, you still tend to find you've got your hardcore raiders who would do normal, they'll do heroic, they'll do mythic.
Yeah, at the moment in Hellfire Citadel, you get a mount. It's only for the next couple of days, I think. You get a mount for doing Archimond on Mythic.
Oh really?
Heroic.
No, it's Mythic.
Oh, is it mythic?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got no chance for that, so don't even think about
Yeah. It's a moose.
it. We could probably pay to get in, but that's like the best we could do.
I want a
Yeah.
moose.
Yes, although apparently they're taking it out of the game after Warlords as well.
I think they take it out of the game, or it becomes obsolete because it's
It-
crap.
No, it might become like a non... It's like the Blizzard Bear, you can't get it
I think
anymore
it's the
kind
idea.
of thing.
It's a guaranteed drop at the moment, and maybe it won't.
Yeah,
be
it becomes a feat of strength.
kind of like the bear from
BlizzCon, yeah.
yeah.
No, BlizzCon wasn't a drop. It was.
No, but it's the same.
reward.
It's what these going to
It's
turn
like
into.
the
yeah.
heirlooms, the garrosh heirlooms.
Yeah, you can't get them anymore because they don't exist. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
With my phone.
Have you guys got anything else you'd like to say, or are we pretty much done for
I am so
Warlords?
done with Draenor. Literally, as soon as the invasions became live, it's for the Legion stuff. I logged into my Draenor.
Could we talk about this in the
No,
other
no,
video?
this is Draenor. This is the perfect place to put this. I logged in. I deleted all of my Draenor quests. I said goodbye to everyone in my garrison that I gave a crap about. I went and did my herb garden for the last time. I then deleted all the crap in my bank that I didn't need. All the what are they called, ogre archaeology fragments and crap I didn't care about in there that was all Draenor related, and went, I'm done, and just left. I am done for Draenor. I am so ready for Legion. So
Yeah,
that was,
she's currently having a holiday in Pandera.
yeah, I've gone to Pandera for 3 days. Or 2 now, sorry.
Probably no days by the time this video goes
Yeah, until no, while you edit, I'm going to go back and do some Pandera quests
out.
with my Alliance character. So yeah, I'm on holiday for 2 days in Pandera. So I'm done with Draenor and I'm ready to go.
I will completely agree. As my other half, Laura Knights, would say, I am Dunyan Rings.
I like that.
I've had enough of it. I cannot wait to get my
Legion on.
Legion on. Yes, I was going to say stick my Fellblade where it doesn't belong, but you know.
Now.
That's something for another video.
That's a whole different video. And not on YouTube, I'd just like to point out. So, if you guys are all done, I've been Radlt.
I've been Evvee from Evvee Does Stuff.
And I'm Lunarus from Let's Play Lunarus.
Go check these guys' videos out. And also, while you're here, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and come back for our World of Warcraft Legion podcast.
Where you can see where the Fellblade does not belong.